Brian, I understand you guys having a scrimmage later in the week. What do you think will be some of the emphases, on as you move toward a scrimmage?
I think, on all, offensively, I think it's just cleaning up some of the stuff because it's back off the install for a day and just review everything. And we've already kind of installed it, we practiced it, and then go out into a live setting and execute it. And then just like a clean operation as far as limiting pre-snap penalties and making sure we got the right guys in the huddle, playing with good pace and good tempo. Those would be some of the things that we, and then executing our base concepts. And then, I think tackling defensively, is always something that they'll want to see with one of those live opportunities.
Where do you think you guys are install wise compared to a normal year? Has any of the COVID stuff messed with that, or is it kind of par for the course right now?
No, this is, we're on schedule right now. We're been pretty aggressive with it here. And we're going to get in the red zone a little bit on Thursday and then kind of put it all together Saturday with some live reps on a scrimmage.
A couple of the receivers are coming on after you, and I just was curious, when you guys reviewed last year, what were just some of your overall impressions of the positives and negatives of what you saw from the receiver and tight end groups?
Yeah, the receivers, I think we were kind of a receiver by committee last year. We rotated we kind of rotated guys through and just trying to figure out our personnel and which guys were take advantage of their skill set, I guess, which guys could do what things best. And so we, I think we kind of created some depth. I don't know that we have right now one or two guys that like just stand out right now. I think we've got we're deeper than we've been in years past. We feel pretty good about 6-7 guys that we can put in there and rotate in some different positions and do some different things with. So I think the depth at the receiver position, building the depth, is something that kind of stood out. The other thing that I think we've been really stressing with those guys is the ability to create some explosive plays, whether it's catching a short pass or a screen and making some guys miss and making a play that way, or getting the ball down the field and giving those guys some opportunities to make some plays down the field in the pass game. So those are some of the things I think that moving forward, we've stressed with that group. And then the tight end position, we feel really good about that group. And I think we're building depth there as well. Jake Overman continues to make strides, has done some nice things. And Luke Musgrave made some really good plays on Saturday when we kind of got into a team setting, some big plays and some third down situations that was really good to see. But I think continuing to get those guys more involved in the pass game as well is something that we're continuing to look at through spring.
Teagan's always been pretty good in the run blocking in the run game. How has his ability to be a threat as a receiver evolved over the 3 years he's been here?
I think he's improved it. I think he's proved a ton. And I know Coach Wozniak, that's something that he feels really confident in Teagan in the pass game, and he made some plays for us last year. And I look for his catches to grow for sure. I think that there's some situations where I feel kind of bad for him because Luke is such a talented guy that way in the pass stuff that sometimes Teagan doesn't always get the opportunities. But in some of our 12 personnel or 2 tight end sets, moving him around and taking advantage of him, I think that we've got 2 tight ends that we feel, there with that first group that we feel pretty good with pass wise. So I look for his catches to grow this year.
With that depth at receiver, how do you kind of go about getting touches to all the guys that probably deserve them? Is it kind of one of those good problems to have?
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's really good competition in that room right now, and I think that competition is really good for us, in that group, and I think we'll narrow it down as we get through to through a fall camp and a little bit more this year, just because we'll have more to work with and a better feel for our personnel going through all the way through spring, going through fall camp. We'll have a better feel of these guys, but it is a good problem to have. I think depth wise,
Brian, talk a little bit about what you've seen from your quarterbacks here in the first week. We obviously didn't get to see him on Saturday. What have you liked from him?
I just think they're getting better every practice. I know it's we've been rotating Ben Gilbranson and Chance Nolan through the first group. Those guys have been kind of alternating ones and twos, and both of them have had their moments where they made some plays for us. And then there's been, some other times where there's been learning opportunities. And but it was really good to just see the film, have those guys come back, see it. And I just think that those guys they've gotten better in the first 3-4 practices for sure. So just their growth. And then my young guy, Sam Vidlag, this is his first spring. He should be in high school senior right now. It's a lot of install. It's the first time he's hearing a lot of this stuff. And I think his mind's going, but he's gone there, and we did a move the ball period a little bit at the end of Saturday's practice. And he had to put together a nice drive, made some big time throws and some plays in that, which was good to see.
There's in college football, there's a wide variety of how teams use their tight ends. How important is the tight end position to your offense?
It's huge. It's huge. I just think it gives you flexibility, especially with the personnel that we've got. And I feel like we can get into any of our lighter sets with our tight end group, and I think it puts some pressure on the defensive coordinator where they don't know exactly if you're going to be in a heavier, true 12, 2 tight end set, running the ball and doing some play action stuff, or you could get into one of your lighter sets and get to more of your, RPO or zone read game, and some of your drop back passes. And so I think just having the talent that we have here, I think it just gives you much more flexibility as a play caller.
How much does it help to have kind of that solidity that you guys have at the offensive line, as opposed to last year when you're trying to replace 3 starters?
Yeah, I think it's good. Anytime you got guys coming back with experience, it's a definite benefit. And I just think it's the more that those guys are around Coach Mahalchek and they're taking reps and they can get cohesive as a group, the better that we're going to be as an offense. So, we're fired up to have all those guys returning for sure.
Have you seen anybody early who could kind of maybe push one of the starting guys?
Gosh, it's so early to tell. I think we've got between, you talk about like at Marco Brewer's done some nice things. Thomas Seal got back in there, has done some nice things. Tolly, there's I could name a couple other ones that I think we love seeing them every day, and they'll flash right now at times and some glimpses of it. And I think right now it's just, they just got to be more consistent to push some of those guys that have been around here for, that played a little bit more last fall.
Hey, Zeriah, how do you kind of personally feel coming into this spring? Just how much more, well prepared do you feel than last season when you're coming in here as a freshman?
I feel more prepared mentally, just because Coach Henson has done a good job of informing me and teaching me the basics of being the actual receiver. And I feel like I'm a little bit more polished than I was last year compared to this year, or this year instead of last year.
What was it like last year coming in here out of Texas, where it's obviously really competitive and you're in here trying to prove yourself? Did it feel like you had kind of already been seeing this level of competition coming from?
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty close. Many people compare Texas high school football to like a junior college, and I feel like the competition level really translated, and it really helped me get to the next level and just understand the basics and all this stuff.
With the depth that this receiver group has, how competitive has it been out there these first couple of days?
I feel like it's real competitive. Everybody's always bringing it. It's always keeping everyone on their P's and Q's, and I feel like that even helps me and everyone else just steady being in the playbook, doing extra reps and just doing the absolute most just to get on the field.
What was the most difficult part coming in here as a true freshman, not having spring ball and kind of trying to make your way through fall camp?
I'll say the playbook, just because we're playing in a pro-style system. So I feel like understanding and learning the playbook was a huge jump from high school to college. Other than the physical attributes that I had, I feel like the mental attributes I had to improve on, and that really helped me going along with Henson and just doing extra work. That really helped me out a lot.
What were you guys playing at Duncanville?
6A Division I.
I mean playbook wise.
It was more like a spread system. We're more working around with the slots. Outside receivers would mainly just get the ball every now and then. I feel like, but that still helped me out a lot, just to utilize every time I caught the ball, just to make sure you do something with it.
Zeriah, how much more comfortable do you just feel on the field, now compared to, last year? And what are you trying to most work on heading into this year?
I feel like I can work on just slowing down the game a little bit more, just understanding coverages. I feel like last year I was just sort of just running around and the game was pretty fast for me. Now this year I feel like the game is a lot slower coming into the spring.
Zeriah, I know it was just one play, but the last play of the season was Ben throwing a touchdown pass to you. I'm just curious, how does that last play of the game, last play of the season, does that help you at all going into an off season, just knowing, you did something really good on the last play of the season?
I feel like if you practice things like that, it'll eventually show up in the game. So I feel like just the more you practice, just one little play doesn't really determine who you are. Just keep being consistent. It's just something that happens, just something that's every day, I feel like.
I wanted to ask a little bit about Sam Vidlag. What kind of ball does he throw? What does it look like coming out of there compared to maybe some of the other quarterbacks?
To be honest, I feel like everyone's balls come out the same. It's just everyone's experience levels are pretty different from each other. Everyone came in at different times. So I feel like the coaches know what's best, but to me, everybody's balls feel the same.
Teagan, Jonathan mentioned last week when I asked him about guys that really stood out physically, that looked like they had making a jump physically, and you were like the first person that came to mind. What were you trying to do this off season to improve yourself physically, other than just getting stronger? Was there anything specific you were trying to do?
As always, you go into the off season, you want to get bigger, stronger, and faster. I say my main focus during this off season was my mobility, my flexibility, and just my trying to get faster and always trying to get stronger. So, just coming in every day, working as hard as I can, and trying to be the model worker in the room as much as I can.
You from day one, you've been a pretty good run blocker, and the pass catching thing has sort of slowly evolved. Where do you feel like you're at as far as a receiver in this offense?
I think I've made big jumps every year. There's always room to improve from where I am until I'm out of here to next season. But I think that I've gotten a lot better, and I'm going to try to only go up from here. So,
I want to ask about the offensive line. You guys were trying to replace 3 starters going into last season. Just how much more calm and kind of, I guess, continuity does it feel that position compared to this time last year?
It feels like we've went through a whole season together. So, the combos with the tackles feel really good right now. We're going to keep working them. But as it comes around and get to fall camp, get to the season, it's going to be a lot of time shared between tight ends and tackles and in the whole offensive line. And I'm really excited to watch this go.
Have you noticed any of those guys who seem like kind of noticeably improved or bigger, stronger?
I would say the left side, Josh, Jake, and Nate. Man, they have put in so much work. I live with them, so I know how much work they put in, and they're looking really strong, really good, and I'm excited for all of them. And I'm excited for the right side too. Kip, whoever's in the right side, I'm excited for all of them. We've all put in so much work, so.
And I wanted to ask about Sam Bedlack, obviously, kind of his first couple of days in here. What kind of ball does he throw?
Oh, he throws a good ball. He's a couple of practices. He's got this little sidearm ball he throws when people have their hands up. It's pretty cool to watch. I'm not going to lie. So, but obviously he's new and there's a lot of stuff getting thrown at him, I bet. And he's playing the hardest position on the field. So, but seems like he's soaking it up really well. And I'm excited for him. He's a good player.